Welcome back to the classic truck garage. We just finished cutting the 87 down from a long bed to a short. I'm gonna turn back in on my 83. Getting the rear glass installed. It had an old layer of purple tint. Took a razor blade, Goo Gone, and glass cleaner. Got it all cleaned up. Got a new gasket for it, but before I put it in, I got to thinking I'm gonna try tinting it first. I know I can take the whole truck, have it tinted whenever I get done, but I'm not much on paying somebody to do something if I think I can do it myself. So I'm gonna show you how I rope a back window into the truck. It may not be right. If I end up shattering it, I'll show it anyway, and that shows you what not to do. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna try to find my squeegee and stuff, get some tint put on the window, let it set for a little bit before I put the gasket on, and then we'll pull the truck back in and get the rope in it and start putting it in.
Okay.
So I found my squeegee, got a spray bottle with some soapy water. I'm gonna try to spray it on there, lay the tint on. I measured the old tint is about 3/8 all the way around. So I'm gonna use the factory edge of this. Like I said, I don't know if this is right. Never done it like this. Never had much luck tinting windows myself at all, but I figured while the glass was out would be a good time to try to do it. So I'm gonna pull it up 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, trim the top. When I split the difference, I should have a 3/8 gap on the top and the bottom. Kind of going to do the same thing with the sides. Hopefully I can get it cut straight. Every time I've ever tried to do it before, it just wrinkled up. The cuts was awful. So I'm going to try it with the glass out and see how it works. I'll spray a little bit of soapy water on there to hold the tint down. Nothing else. This tint, if the window breaks when I'm putting it in, will keep thousands of pieces from going everywhere. Soapy water will kind of help hold the tint in place. I'll squeegee it out here in a minute. Walk this way so I can get that messy off the end of it. Maybe too dark, I end up going 2.5%. So I'm gonna go around 3/4. And squeegee it out, kind of lock it down. I've not pulled the adhesive back or off the back of it yet, so. One side of that's cut and crooked. I tinted the tractor windows a few years ago. They turned out pretty good, but if I can get this done, get it put in without breaking it, I'll probably be doing pretty good. I have the adhesive side down, the side with a clear sheet, and just squeegeeing it to try to lock it on. Hopefully I can get most of those wrinkles out. If not, I may just be wadding this up and throwing it away and putting the wind in without it. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to this, but I'm gonna give it a whirl anyway. I know the professionals make it look like it's nothing. Hoping it don't wrinkle on me that bad while I'm actually installing it. Glass is laying pretty flat. All right. try. I'm gonna try cutting it. I'm gonna cut one side and just follow around the top. Not sure how this is gonna work when I get to these wrinkles, but it's not staying stuck down very good. Trying to leave that 3/8 gap around the edge for the gasket. You know what, I'm gonna have to trim one side or the other of this here in a minute anyway, so. Might have worked better if I'd have done the tint side to it on the bite side of the glass. I think that's the way they do it. I'm gonna reposition it. Making more air bubbles in it. Not be usable, but worth a shot. Let's try it. So about 3/8 off that bottom. Pretty close there. Gotta squeegee that back down a little bit, please. It's not want to stay, but well, before we're done, I should have got 3/8 over here. There's 5/8. Actually, I need 3/4 on this side. I don't know how this is gonna work out. And it ain't gotta be perfect, but I don't want I'll fill my show truck. I should have used the static clean. I can peel it back off. I can pull it over with it. Yeah, almost wrinkled it. I might have wrinkled it. You know what, I think I'm pretty close. I'll cut it right there. Lay it all out. See how it looks. It's gonna be harder to cut with this short side on it. Got that. I want to radius these corners a little too. This is where I'll probably mess up at. Yep. Probably. More than likely. Yeah. Hopefully I can squeegee that wrinkle out of it. I don't know how those corners are going to look, but we shall see. So I'm going to roll this back up, clean the window one more time, soapy water, lay it up there, peel the backing off, and hopefully it lays out all right. If not, we'll have a clear back window. All right. So so I've started peeling the back off of it. Don't really know what I'm gonna do now with it, but I'm gonna keep it soaked down with plenty of water so I can move it until I squeegee it on there. I had a hard time getting them to separate the clear backing off of it. What I end up doing is putting a piece of painter's tape on both sides. You're probably gonna watch me just really screw up a piece of window tint, but maybe it'll work out. Maybe. I kind of just wing everything I do. If it works out, I get lucky. If it don't, try something else. Like paying somebody to do it. Slicker and snot. I honestly can't believe that actually worked. So got the adhesive side down, so now I need to try to get it pretty well centered up where I want it. Now I don't want it laying under my gasket, so try to just pull this in, maybe. Don't really like touching it. Take the adhesive off the. God, it's already trying to stick. Might have been better off trying to put the whole sheet up there and then just trim it to fit. You spray that with water. Heavy. All up and under there. All of it. Woo! Thing. Shoot. Spray this in really good. Hard. Thank you. My lovely assistant that don't want to be on camera. Don't know that I really care anything about being on camera either, but I am, right? She's not even gonna talk. All right. Man. It's probably more aggravation than it's worth, but I figured it'd be worth a shot. Well, by looking at it with my good eye, that's pretty close. So now if I find my squeegee, I'll put it back there. I have no idea. There's that wrinkle that I put in it. Man, that makes me sick. Dang. It might look good from this side, but the telltale sign will be when we flick it over. That's when you can see the trash and the air bubbles from the back side. Got those corners way too short. Probably should have started at the middle with that. These back windows are kind of scary. I mean, it's unreal how much stuff flates. So far, other than where I almost wrinkled it, it's looking really good. Hopefully none of the tin is under the rear seal. That's the main reason I'm trying to leave a 3/8 reveal of the glass around it, so when I put the seal on, it's not tucked up and under. Looks like a lot. Oh, that's my finger print. It's not going to be perfect. I already took a look at it. But maybe it'll be good enough. So I'm trying to work these edges out, work all the water out from under it. I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. Come back in a minute, flip it over, see how it looks. There's a lot of air bubbles or Bella's hairs like to get in everything. We'll peel it back off before it sets up too hard. We'll just put the back wing in without it. So I'm gonna let it set for a little bit before I flip it over. Let the adhesive kind of really stick to the glass. And then we'll come back and see how it looks. So let the tint set a few minutes. Flipped it over. And all in all, I think I'm gonna go with it. That's kind of the worst spot. Got a lot of lint on top of it already, but that's where I let the tint almost crease in a little spot. Other than that, there's no air bubbles, no nothing. There's a few spots where I put my thumbs to peel it up to get it leveled up, which I kind of figured they would be, but I guess the adhesive come off or the oil from my fingers have done it. Kind of streaky. I'm not very good at all at cleaning glass. That's why I never clean the interior of my truck. Usually just looks better with a film over the windshield than streaks all in it. But yeah, I mean, other than this little spot here, turned out really good. I'll throw me a Tennessee sticker over top of that. You'll never see it. And if something happens, this starts turning purple like what was on there, I'll take a razor blade to it and peel it off. So I'm gonna let it set a little bit longer. Got the gasket kind of everywhere with the phone. Got the gasket laying out in the sun. Don't know if it really needs it, but I figured it'd kind of let it warm up, be a little bit easier to go in. I'll have to round up a small piece of rope, pick up my trash here. Still need to pick up a bunch of tools and junk from cutting the long bed down to a short. But yeah, I think all in all, I think it'll do. It'll be better than what's in there now. I'm gonna go, there's a place fairly local that has most of these truck parts in stock. He's about 45 minutes away. I'm gonna go maybe next weekend, get my windshield front gasket. He sells them for about the same price as online or in the books, but I don't have to pay the shipping. So I'm gonna go up there and pick one up from him and hopefully get it put in here in the next weekend or two. But I'm gonna get off here, let this set for a minute, come back and get the gasket put on it and get ready to rope it in the back of the truck. So I would highly suggest not trying to tint your own windows. Pay somebody to do it. I don't know, some of y'all may have better luck. The first one actually turned out pretty good. I just cut the corners too short, so it's set out in the sun for a while. I think it's on there good enough. I started putting the gasket on there. Sprayed a little bit of glass cleaner around the edges. If it slide on. Be sure you get the glass seated all the way up in the gasket. This is a new gasket, so it's kind of aggravating to go on, but once you get a section started, you can kind of work it in. So I'm gonna finish getting this gasket put on, and we're gonna pull the truck back in the garage, lay the rope in it, soak everything down with glass cleaner for a lubricant, and we'll be back in a minute. So I got the back gasket on. After you get it on there, you can kind of shift it, twist it, make sure and get the corners to kind of line up. You know, if you don't, you end up pulling them in the truck. This corner will be down or up. So kind of shift it around, get it lined up. I put a piece of tape in the middle on the outside, kind of hold the gasket up. That way when we pick it up to put it in there, it doesn't try to fall off. And what you're going to want to do, this rope's almost too small. It's like maybe an 1/8 inch nylon. But you're going to work this in the groove where it sets on the windshield. What I'm going to do is start in the middle. And this new gasket is tight. We'll probably have a hard time getting it around the getting it around the metal lip in the body. I'm gonna get a little screwdriver. Open it up as I go through there. Be careful, don't use nothing real sharp right here. I don't want to tire the new gasket. So I've got the rope in the gasket. You want them to crisscross right here about the center. I'm gonna put another piece of tape on it right in here. Maybe one at the top. I don't know. I don't think the top will come off as bad. Make sure the rope's all the way seated. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Make sure the rope's seated all the way up in the gasket. That way when you go to pulling it back, you get a full roll down of the gasket around the metal lip. And the glass cleaner helps a lot. Works great for a lubricant on it. I'm gonna get the truck pulled back in the garage, or not in the sun, and try to rope it in. All right, so we're fixing to rope the back wind in. Use plenty of glass cleaner for a lubricant. I mean, be very liberal with it. Be as liberal with it as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is with your paycheck. Think of this as your tax dollars. I mean, soak it down. Don't be stingy with it. Do this side. We're gonna get down, do the gasket side, get up here and get it put in place. I'm gonna get in the truck and we'll come back in just a second. Okay, you can see on the bottom, a little bit right here, a little pressure right here. As I pull the rope up, it will work the gasket. Well, if I could film as I pull the rope, it will work that gasket right up over that lip. Once I get all the bottom side done, I'm gonna get back there with her and kind of work it down, work the glass down. And we're gonna go all the way around it like this, and we'll be back in just a little bit. These corners are kind of tricky. Kind kind of wiggle, tug. Don't pull too hard, you don't want to tear your rubber. So we've got that side all in. I'm gonna start with this side. My glass cleaner's drying up a little bit, so remember, be very liberal with it. A little goes a little way and a lot goes a long way. All right, start a little pressure down this way. Just slide. Come on down. I'm doing a terrible job at filming and pulling the rope. So when I get to this corner, I'm gonna shove the glass and the gasket all toward the driver's side. And then once I get this corner in, I'm gonna get back there with her. I'm gonna have to put the camera down. I'm gonna get back there with her, pull the glass down, get it to seat down in the gasket, and then the top will go in a lot easier. So I'm at the top on both sides. It's all going pretty good. Just remember, when you pull your rope, pull it away from the gasket. A little pressure right here, just a little, right on the gasket. A little more. Okay, we got it all in. I hope I got enough footage of the roping in section. I mean, there's plenty of videos on YouTube for this. Don't be afraid to try it. It's not that hard. This was a junkyard back window. It was $25. I bought a new gasket. I think it was about $40. I ordered it from Summit. I was ordering some paint for the inner fenders from them anyway, so I just added to it to get my $100 for the free shipping. So I'm gonna go back in here behind it. As you can see, the gasket's pulled down here and there in a few spots. I just go along and put pressure just with the palm of your hand, not so much on the glass. You smack it a little. Get the gasket to seat in it good. And we'll go on the inside, make sure the gasket's sealed up within the channel in there. And that's pretty well all they are too, putting a solid back glass in a truck. Like I said, it's not that hard. Make sure your rope's all the way in the channel. I mean, we done it, what, 3 minutes? With just my wife helping. You know, she came outside and held her hand up against it, just applied a little bit of pressure as I was pulling the rope around, feeding that lip of the gasket over the metal. So, like I said, it's not really how-to. Just don't be afraid to try doing something. I mean, if I'd have broke this window, I could have found another one in the junkyard for $25. So, or worse come to worse, put the sliding back in it. The truck came with a factory slider. I didn't want to go with the slider. You know, the lock was broke on it. So, I'm going to finish up here, go around the inside, and I'll show you the seal on the inside, you know, how you kind of make sure it's seated in there. I hope I'll look really good in my pink chair here in the back of the truck. So I'm going to finish this up, making sure it's sealed up good out here, and then I'll go around to the inside with it and show you. I know I didn't do a very good job filming in here. The lighting in here is awful too. But you'll notice when you start pulling it in, this gasket won't seal all the way. This gasket won't seal all the way up. It'll be down. When I went around outside and smacked it all, and I'm not saying to hit the glass hard, you know, hit around with the palm of your hand, just give it a smack. All that gasket pretty well worked itself right up in place. I'm gonna go through, there's a little spot or two right here and kind of finagle, pull, tug, but yeah, for the most part it turned out really good. I'm gonna mess with the gasket a little right in there around by the dome light and clean it up, and should be ready to go. Be ready for the front windshield here in a week or so. I'm gonna go pick up a windshield and a gasket, and hopefully I'll have a stand or something by then. Just set the camera up and go through. They're honestly easier to put in than the back window on these trucks. The front windshield takes a lock bead. You can get a lock bead gasket for the rear. Silverados came with it, had the chrome lock strip, but this truck was factory at Scottsdale. Even though I'm putting some of the Silverado trim back on it when I finish it, I kind of like the looks of the rear gasket with no lock strips. So I'm going to finish up here, get it cleaned up, and I'll show y'all what it looks like complete in just a second. So there it is installed. Turned out really good. I can't thank my wife enough for helping. Gotta give her a big old kiss if I didn't have a chew at the back end. Really regretting lifting the truck as much as I have. It's gonna be getting 35s here before long. Got a set of 16x10 bullet holes for it. I'm getting old and fat, and it's getting kind of hard to get up in it. If I had to do over, I'd have went a 2-inch lift, just some 33s, and may change it later down the road. For now, I just want to get it back on the road. It's been way too long of a project. I finally got it painted this year. I was hoping to have it done this year, but everything else comes up. I do have the epoxy. I'm gonna finish epoxying the tailgate, get it ready for some 2K primer, and paint. I still like painting the tailgate, the cowl panel, and the grilled bumper filler. I'll try to get videos of them too, I guess. You know, I've had people tell me I ought to try this, so I'm on a video. I'm gonna try throwing them on YouTube and see how it works out. I've got new inner fenders also. And I ordered the paint the other day to get those painted, so I'm gonna try to get those painted, get those put in. I really dread putting those in, but I'm also gonna do the XJ steering shaft upgrade before I put the inner fender in. I've seen a lot of people doing it. You know, it eliminates the rag joint, put a U-joint at this end, and they say what, out of late 80s, early 90s XJ, the steering shaft will bolt right in there. So I'm gonna order one of those, get that swapped out before I try to get the inner fenders in. I think it'd be easier. I'd have more room. I could do it right here. So hopefully I'll have it finished, back on the road, maybe by the end of the year, first of next year. I am eventually going to put a vintage air kit on it too. Wish I'd have ordered it last year, year before. They went up quite a bit. I think at one time they were around $1,400 or $1,600, or about $2,000 now. That's like the prices with everything. Bidenomics is a killer. But that'll probably be it for this video. I'll start another one whenever we start on the paint work, finishing putting the epoxy on the tailgate, getting the tailgate and the cowl painted. I'll film all that, do a little short video of that. I paint everything I've done's been in this 2-car garage on this truck. The plan was about 4 or 5 years ago, I'd originally planned to build a 30 by 40 shop out here, and then COVID hit, so I kind of held off. Well, then the Bidenomics hit, and I don't see cost and supplies coming down no time soon. So hopefully next spring, I want to try to have it built 30 by 40, 30 by 50. I want it big enough to get 4 vehicles in. So that'll be it for this video. I'll do another one with the paint work and show you how I paint everything. Actually, when I primer in here, I don't do anything. Yeah, I mean, it's very little dust. This truck was stripped to bare metal in this garage. And there's a lot of dust in here, but whenever I paint, there's very little dust gets in it. So we'll come back to another video probably of doing priming and doing the epoxy, the priming, blocking, and painting the tailgate, cowl panel, and the filler panel in the front.